That's the reason why people don't want to speak about extraterrestrials, because it's scary. The religious doctrine has become an appendage to us. You understand what I'm saying? It's like being in a relationship with someone for 14, 15 years. And then trying to sever that bond and break up. Even if that person is toxic to you, you've been around them for so long, you can't conceive how to separate yourself from them. That's how religion is. We've had these beliefs for so long. Any conception of something outside the confines of religion becomes scary because you have to learn all over again.
Right.
And your worst contemplation is that you may have been wrong about what you've been studying for the longest time. And many of us don't have the ego to subject ourselves to that kind of rationale, to accept that these are all stepping stones into higher realities. All these religions primarily were encountered by these sentient beings that visited this planet, and they all have it on record. So the weirdest thing for me especially is when religious people try to debunk extraterrestrials. Then who would God be? Because the extraterrestrials, extraterrestrial. Extra means an additional amount, terra means earth in Latin, and astral means from the stars. Okay, so an additional amount on earth from the stars. Now who would God be? Did God create this planet while on the planet? Or did God create the planet outside of the planet? Because if God created the planet outside of the planet, God would be extraterrestrial. Now where the mistakes and the follies come in is when you read the book or the Bible and it says, and God saw the sunset, then you know that's an earthling talking from an earthling's disposition, because we know that the sun doesn't rise or set. Right. So then we know a man put his hand into that. Right. But the reality would be, if you believe in angels, where do angels come from? If you believe in Jesus and that he's coming back, where is he coming from? See, that is the embodiment. That engenders the principles of extraterrestrialism. So I always wonder, how come religious people have the hardest, why is it so hard for religious people to swallow the concept of extraterrestrials? Why is it so hard for the people who subscribe to the Egyptian community to subscribe to the concept of extraterrestrials? Their gods, their deities, their whole value system, their belief system. Muslims who are waiting for a Burak or a spiritual ass. You're the spiritual ass if you can't understand that you're waiting for extraterrestrials. If you're waiting for chariots or flaming chariots. If you're waiting for a rapture to take place and beings to come. This stuff has already taken place with the Mayans. A whole community has disappeared that they can't account for. But we ignore that and we go for what we can understand. You see, if you get into the extraterrestrial doctrine, you'll start engaging in higher understanding, and then you'll really understand why religion is such a divisive tool to keep the masses fighting and causing great dissension amongst humanity. You'll understand that this works to the benefit of an elite group of controversies that's on this planet that make an expense at the hell of everybody else's plagues. That's why nobody wants us to get to the extraterrestrial reality. It is better off to study something you can't relate to or engage, as opposed to say, you know what? The gods that you have been worshiping are actual beings that have been encountering us and elevating us. You can believe that a whole community that where there's no telescopes, the Dogon community, no telescopes. How could they find planets that's sitting between the 18th galaxy and the 19th galaxy with just their bare eyes? Modern scientists within the last 100 years has just found Sirius B, or Digitaria, or Botolo, what the Dogons call it. And the Hogon, the head Dogon, has identified the Nomos as the water beings that came from that constellation and educated them in depth about astrology and the eclipse. Right. They couldn't find one mechanism there that can give you the inclination that they was using it to get that information. How could the Sumerians put the planets in size, shape, order and have proper color references? How could the Egyptians have proper detailing on eclipse to come? How could they have done this? And we seen they recorded everything on the walls, but we can't find the technology where they was able to do these things. But we just gonna go and accept any religious belief system that someone gives us? You see, there's a chamber in the mind that's blocking the subconscious. In fear that people actually wake up and bear witness to these truths, we'll be able to get out of the situation we